Good evening, friends. It's Tuesday. Hey, we're doing a Tuesday night Playalong Bluegrass Jam, January 14th, 2025, the second Playalong Jam of the new year. Hope everyone is doing okay out there. I am fresh back from a wild weekend of serious bluegrass picking at the Great 48 in Bakersfield, California. Thanks, California Bluegrass Association, for putting that on. Thank you, Sandy DeVera and Jeff Ruskinski, for inviting me up there and letting me participate. It was really cool. It was kind of like connecting with the California roots that I never knew I had. I mean, I knew I had them, but I was never associated with the CBA. I grew up in Southern California, in the deep, deep South. I'm talking while I double check the live streams. So where I grew up, we had the San Diego Bluegrass Society, which I credit for showing me the ropes while I was learning. You know, I was just a hippie kid, deadhead, getting into bluegrass, and I knew how to play guitar pretty well, but I didn't know the music. And all of those folks at the San Diego Bluegrass Society were so helpful, and those jams at Fuddruckers and places like that in town, that's where I learned. And I didn't know about the CBA, the California Bluegrass Association, until I moved to Nashville and got real serious about bluegrass music and flat picking. So, you know, then I moved to Colorado, and I've never even been to the Father's Day Festival at Grass Valley, the big CBA event. And I didn't know about the CBA. So anyway, interestingly enough, it is this very event, this Monday Night Play-Along Bluegrass Jam, that connected me with Sandy in Bakersfield, who invited me to come to the event. So it's just wild how full circles work. And I know a bunch of the folks who were there, but I realized they all know each other because they all kind of grew up going to Grass Valley and things like that. So anyhow, I was feeling inspired, and on the set list tonight, I included a bunch of songs that are sort of California standards. And interestingly enough, people think about California as this like progressive, you know, out in the West kind of, you know, place, which is true in many aspects, but there's a deep hardcore bluegrass community here who kind of trace their inspiration back to folks like Vern Williams, you know, Vern and Ray, who recorded, you know, all the way back in the 1960s and had a real hard driving ethos to their sound. So anyway, kind of neat to tap into that, and I'm doing a few songs here that Vern Williams did record, and had a blast picking with a bunch of great California pickers. There's a bunch of them I saw there who I didn't give a chance to play with, unfortunately, but a bunch of great players who I didn't know and who I got to know and played with, and Keith Little, one of my heroes. We got to pick a whole bunch, and that was the highlight for me. And I got to teach a workshop and lead a jam, and it was just great. So then we had a quick 24 hours in Death Valley National Park. I went on a road trip with my mom to this place. I tried to talk her out of going to this. I'm like, you don't want to go to this bluegrass festival in this hotel. It's just a bunch of jamming. It's going to drive you crazy. But she loved it and had a blast. She met a bunch of people too. And then we went to Death Valley for a quick overnight and had a big day there yesterday, hiking around, spectacular sunset on the dunes, and then drove all the way back to San Diego, to Hamul, where I am right now. So that's what happened, and that's why we're here on Tuesday instead of Monday. And we're going to start this with Roll On, Buddy, Roll On. Here's the tempo. And some of you might be new here, just a quick rundown. I don't teach you the song, I just kind of show you how it goes. This isn't a lesson, it's a jam. So I'll give you a brief sort of run through of the chord changes. I'll sing the melody. I'll show you how I would start it, how I would kick it off. And then I give it to you to kick off. And it's just like a bluegrass jam where you might know the song, you might not, but you're going to fake it till you make it. That's the way we do it here. If you're interested in lessons, I've got a bunch of resources for stuff like that, for method, for learning how we do this. But anyway, just real quick, this is how Roll On Buddy goes. In the key of G. And I use the number system most of the time because that's how we communicate in bluegrass, where instruments might be capoed differently or tuned differently. So I'm going to use 1, 4s, and 5s to represent the chords, things like that. So this goes like this, in the key of G. 1 and 1 and a 1. 4 and 4 and a 1. 4 and 4 and 1 and a 1. 1 and 5 and a 1. Here's how I might kick it off. I don't know about you, but for me, those last few notes of the melody are always the ones I'm trying to find clever ways to work into my kickoff. Okay, so here we go. You're going to kick us off on Roll On, Buddy, Roll On. And you can work on your rhythm, playing along with me. You can work on your lead playing. You're going to get an opportunity to take a break, a solo. But remember, while I'm singing, you can still work on instrumental backup, like playing melodic figures to back up the vocals. So there's lots you can practice here. Okay, kick us off on Roll On, Buddy, in the key of G. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. First verse. I'm going to that East K Road. I'm going to that East K Road. I'm going to the East. I'm going to the West. I'm going to the one that I love best. Chorus. Roll on, buddy, roll on. Roll on, buddy, roll on. You wouldn't roll so slow if you knew what I know. So roll on, buddy, roll on. I'm gonna play it. Okay. And this is the cue to stop the song, to end it, like a foot kick, if you could see my feet. And this would be the cue to tag it. All right, and in case you're wondering where you are, if you just arrived, this is the slow jam. This is all slow tempo, which means it's either songs that are naturally slow or songs like that one, which I've slowed down compared to how they usually go. All right, next. I think this is Oh, Susannah. Very cool. So this is one that Vern Williams did in a bluegrass style. Keith Little also did a cool recording of this. Keith played with Vern Williams back in the early days, well, in the 80s, I guess. Just the early days of that sound as far as it relates to California. There's an album called Bluegrass from the Gold Country that Keith would play banjo and sang harmony on with Vern Williams and the Vern Williams Band. And this song's on there, and I just do it straight, just like the Stephen Foster version, but just with a bluegrass beat. So let's see here. And you just got to know Oh, Susannah. It's just a standard melody that everybody should be able to pick out. I one and one and one and a five. One and a one and a one and five and one. Da 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 to the four. Oh, Susannah, one and a five and a one and one and one and one, one and five and one. And there's the beginning again. So you California people are going to tell me, well, Vern put a little pause between the verse and the chorus. I don't do that for this purpose. We're just going to roll right through it. But what you're going to do is play the entire verse and chorus every time. So on the kickoff and on the breaks, you go through the whole verse and the chorus. So it's kind of like two A's and a B. I'll demonstrate how I might kick this off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there you go. Kick us off on Oh, Susannah, and I hope you're singing along in the key of G. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. a banjo on my knee. Here I go. While everything was still, I dreamed I saw Susannah coming over the hill. A buckwheat cake was in her mouth and a tear was in her eye. I'm a-coming from the south, Susannah, don't you cry. Oh, Susannah, now don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Play it. I think I'll go down to New Orleans, there I'll look around, and if I do not find her, I will fall upon the ground. And if I do not find her, then I will surely die. And when I'm dead and buried, oh Susannah, don't you cry. Oh Susannah, now don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh Susannah, now don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Just a good song, no matter how you treat it. Okay, Leather Britches had a request for this, and we'll do it. It's been a long time. This was an excellent reminder. I think Tyler Ballantyne, I think you're the one who requested this. Tyler, who works with me on Artist Works. So we'll keep the tempo nice and easy here. I'm just pushing it up in tiny increments to kind of move us up to the next tempo range, but we'll do this one and then we'll do one more song and I'll check in on everyone's comments. So make sure you chime in, leave a comment, let us know where you are, how you're doing, and what you're playing, what instrument, and any other thoughts for the group. Okay, here we go, Leather Britches. Oh, here's how it goes. If you're strumming changes, changes is just hip for the chords, the chord changes. If you're in a group and you want to sound like a professional, say, hey, I'll show you the changes. It sounds way cooler than I'll show you the chords. But anyway, I'll show you the chords. G and a G and a 5 and a 1. 4 and a 1 and a 5 and a 1. 5 and a 1. And a 4 and a 1 and a 5 and a 1. That's the whole thing as far as the chord changes go. 2 A parts, 2 B parts. And I will kick it off and we'll go twice through. So me all the way through, A, A, B, B, and then you all the way through the form, A, A, B, B, then me again all the way through, then you again all the way through, and then you tag it to end it. Here we go. Leather Britches in the key of G. I will kick it off.
Fun. That's a great tune for working on your shuffle. I was trying to sort of demonstrate. Like that, like the old-timey fiddle kind of shuffle. That tune is a good one to bring that out. Okay, I'll Not Be a Stranger. I've never done this song before. I was vaguely familiar with it, but in this amazing late night jam I had with Keith Little and some other players, he sang this song, and I thought, okay, that's a good one from the Stanley Brothers. Good old gospel number. So I have a cheat sheet for the words here. And we're going to do this in the key of C. And a 1 and a 1 and a 4 and a 4 and a 1 and a 1 find a tempo. 3/4. I'm going to try the long beat. Let's see if this works. If this thing can go that slow. It's not quite. I kind of want to slow it down, so that only goes down to 40, so we'll do the short beat here at about 110. Divide that by 3 and you'd get what I call the long beat. Usually when I'm practicing 3/4, I like to do 1 click per measure. But this will be a busier. That'll be the tempo. So here's how I might kick it off, and here's how I'll count you in. I'll give you 4 entire measures to count in. So I'll count myself to demonstrate the kickoff. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be your kickoff. On the breaks, let's play the chorus form also, because the chorus is probably fun to play over. Like I said, I haven't really done this song yet, aside from that jam. So you kick it off on the verse, just like that, or however you're feeling it, whatever style you'd like to try. And we'll sing a verse and a chorus, and then I'll take the first break on the verse, and then you take that chorus form. So you take it to the 5 chord after I play over a verse. So I'll play over a verse, you'll play over chorus, sing another verse, chorus, and then you play over a verse and I'll play over a chorus. We'll pass it back and forth each time. Here we go. I'll Not Be a Stranger. Key of C. And here we go. You're going to kick it off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Friends there to greet me, there'll be loved ones to meet me at the gates of that city four square. Through the years, through the tears, they've gone one by one, but they'll wait at the gate until my race is run. I'll not be a stranger with folks over there. I've got it.
be a stranger when I get to that city. I'm a home on the streets paved with gold. I'll feel right at home there in that beautiful somewhere with the loved ones whose memory I hold. Through the years, through the tears, they have gone one by one, but they'll wait at the gate until my race is run. I will not be a stranger when I get to that city. I'm acquainted with folks over there. Play it. Last verse. I'll not be a stranger when I get to that city. There'll be no lonely days over there. There'll be no stormy weather, but a great time together on the streets of that city four square. Through the years, through the tears, they have gone one by one, but they'll wait at the gate until my race is run. I'll not be a stranger when I get to that city. I'm acquainted with folks over there. Okay. Beautiful songs, trio throughout. So that's the way you do it proper if you had a couple other singers. And I hope you were singing along, those of you who know the song. Okay, I'm going to check in with everyone. How's everyone doing here in Facebook land? Terry Weller Godwin. Thank you, Terry, for being here, playing your mandolin in Carolina. Michelle Ruiz, playing mandolin and guitar in Edmonds, Washington. Very cool. Thanks for being here, Michelle. Trudy M. Fagan playing the fiddle and mandolin in Rochester, New York. All right. Teresa Harrington. Hey, Teresa Harrison. You're the coolest, Teresa. Thanks for being here. Paul Filnovich in Alton, Illinois. Thanks for being here, Paul. And Colin Burns picking along late in Martin on Cleveland in the England, in the faraway UK. Richard Burkett, that's okay. I'll have other concerts coming up. And I will see you hopefully at one of those. Okay, and moving over to YouTube land. We got a handful of folks here. Sandy, hello Sandy, in Bakersfield. Great to actually meet you in person finally after being connected on the jams for so long. And it was fun getting to play some songs together and meet your family, and just amazing. Thanks for inviting me up there. We'll do it again next year. Jeffrey Boyle, picking and a grinning. Helperman, Sage Helperman. Hello, Sage. Carl Malley here on the Martin guitar in freezing Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Thomas Kitzman, snowy and cold in Saginaw, Michigan. I had a girl in Saginaw, Michigan. Blake Addison, hey, how's it going? Picking along on the Martin. Okay. Well, that was quick. Amy Owens in Estes Park on the stand-up bass. Very cool. All right. Well, y'all talk amongst yourselves. We're going to keep moving on through the music here. And what do we got? And thanks for being here on a Tuesday. I know it's different. Many folks kind of jam along with these after the fact anyway. And, you know, I figured it was better than not doing it this week. So, and it might work better for some of you. Who knows? We're going to move on into Monroe land here. When You Are Lonely, also better known among picking circles as Someday Sweetheart, When You're Lonely. This is on the slow side anyway. Probably I'd say a slower mid-tempo number. But we're going to slow it down even more for the slow jam. In the key of D. So I'll be hanging out capo 2, playing C position. Drinking some green tea here. Okay. And a 1 and a 1 and a 1. 1 and 1 and a 5. And a 1 and a 1 and a 1. And 5 and a 5 and a 1 to the 4. Ah, someday, sweetheart, when you're lonely. And a 1 and 1 and a 5. And 1 and a 1 and a 1. And 5 and a 5 and a 1. My kickoff will go. Something like that. Okay, here we go. Kick us off on When You Are Lonely. And let's do like we did on I'll Not Be a Stranger, where we'll trade the verses and the choruses on our breaks, okay? So you'll kick it off on a verse, and then after we sing in a verse and a chorus, I will play the verse break, and then you'll take the chorus break to the 4 chord. And then the next round of breaks will switch. Here you go. Kick us off. Real Lonesome on When You Are Lonely in the key of D. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm thinking of you, little darling, on the day that we first met. And those words, sweetheart, that you told me, I swore I would never forget. Oh, someday, sweetheart, when you're lonely, care for you, remember the heart you have broken, and the one that has loved you so true. I got it. You told me that you always would love me, and no one would ever come between. But it seems to me that you've forgotten all those things you told to me. Oh, someday, sweetheart, when you're lonely and you have no one to care for you, remember the heart you have broken and the one that has loved you so true. Take it. To the chorus. Now you take a chorus. I'll forget all those things that you told me and try to start my life anew. But remember the heart you have broken and the one that has loved you so true. Oh, someday, sweetheart, when you're lonely and you have no one to care for you, remember the heart you have broken and the one that has loved you so true. Just remember the heart you have broken and the one that has loved you so true. I forgot to send you to the chorus that first round, so hope you were ready when I tried to make up for it on the second round. Fun, fun. All right, moving right along here, we've got Little Willie, a good high vocal. I'm gonna get a little sip of water for preparation here. Good old Stanley Brothers song, a song of kind of a morality play, just about the dude abandoning the woman. And there's no retribution or anything, but it's acknowledged, at least in the song, that the man shouldn't have abandoned the woman in this way. Anyway, it's a cool melody and a cool kind of moody mountain vibe. You know, very much in line with the Stanley Brothers Clinch Mountain sound. Picking on a Lorena here. My John Rossbach built D18 style guitar from West Virginia. I love this guitar. We had a blast picking together up there in Bakersfield. One thing I love about
this guitar is that she's loud. She can be heard in the jams, and it's one of the most important things really about a good bluegrass guitar. Okay, Little Willie. In A, it's got a 1 and a flat 7. So the flat 7 chord here is a G chord. That's the concert chord. If you're capoed to like I am, it's an F chord. So, and a 1 and flat 7 and 1 and 5 and 1 and a 1, 1 flat 7, 1 and 5 and a 1. Simple melody, very similar to Little Maggie. I mean, you could play Little Maggie and get away with it, but ever so slightly different. Here we go, in the key of A, kick us off on Little Willie. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When I was in my 16th
more to that story somewhere, and it might have been abridged into a shorter song. But anyway, there's Little Willie. Okay, Big Sandy River. Good Monroe number. Figured we could use a review on. Key of A. Made famous on the Kenny Baker Plays Bill Monroe album. Kenny may have had a part in composing this, I'm not sure. Anyhow, here we go. It goes like this. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. 5, 5, 5. 1 and 1 and 1 and a 1. 5 and a 5 and a 1. 5 and a 5 and a 5 and a 5. 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a 1. 5 and a 5 and a 1. 1 and a 4 and a 5 and a 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a 4 and a 5 and a 1. 4 and a 4 and 5 and 5 and a 1 and a 1. Okay, so twice through. Me, you on Big Sandy River here in the key of A. And then you go ahead and tag it after your second time through. Here we go. I'm kicking it off. right, one more song, Out on the Ocean. Good old Red Allen song. Did this a couple times at the event with others who knew all the words, and we sang it in duet style, which was very cool. And kind of reminded me that I needed to brush up on the exact lyric a little bit. One round was with Annie Stananetz and John Cale. Of course, they know all the words to every song, so we sang this one in trio, which was really fun. And another one was with a fella named Thomas. I don't know his last name. Real good player. From around somewhere in Central California. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, whole bunch of Cali folks. Bunch of real good players who know a lot of bluegrass songs. So I brushed up on this today. Hopefully I got it right. You'll notice that this also exists in the Fast Jam. So, those of you who are willing and daring and want to stick around for the Fast Jam, I hope you do, and give it a try. Or come back to it tomorrow or whatever. But sometimes it's fun to try something slow and then try it again at its actual tempo. So here we go, Out on the Ocean in the key of B. This is one written by Pete Kuykendall and sung by Red Allen, at least the version that I do. Okay, so it goes. And a one, and a one, and a four, back to one, and a one, and a one, and a flat 7, 5, and a 1. That flat 7 chord is an A chord, concert key. Okay, and my kickoff might go something like a 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you're going to kick us off now. The key of B, Out on the Ocean. Here you go. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sailing out on the ocean, many of me, but you proved to be untrue. Play. I am traveling far away, dear, many miles from this old place, but I never will forget you, your sweet smiles and happy face, me and you. Play. I can see my father calling, I can see my father pray. If I listen to my mother, I would be at home today. I'm gonna try that verse again because I messed it up. I can hear my mother calling, I can see my father pray. If I listen to my father, I would be at home today. Okay, we did it. That's one I'm still working on singing. I don't know, there's something tricky about it. I haven't figured it out quite yet, but maybe it's just that Red Allen's such a good singer and his phrasing is so impeccable on that I'm comparing myself to a very high standard. But hey, that's what I do. Okay, thanks everyone for being here on the slow jam. We got 8.5 minutes before the mid-tempo jam begins at quarter till, so I'll see you right back here. Remember, it'll come up on a new video, so refresh the pages at about quarter till, and I'll see you then. Thanks everyone.